Welcome to Apribet Integrated Green Farms, the green home of organic food and agro-sciences. Now kindly follow me, let's take a walk through this beautiful, innovative and organic farm.
Yes, I am Peter Ohiozoji-Afatasin, Chairman Apribet Ventures Limited, the parent company of Apribet Integrated Green Farms Limited, AIGF.
My name is Chile Pascal Onyejilam. I'm originally a lawyer, a creative person, and an agroecological consultant.
Yeah, my name is Mr. Brimo Monde. I'm the farm coordinator.
Good day. My name is Ohajudu Chechukwu, Emperor, and I am the technician in charge of the aquaculture unit in this growing and organic farm.
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. Je suis Lionel Yasmin Gisne Azinongbe. Je suis originaire de la République du Bénin et je suis spécialiste en production végétale, spécialement en production maraîchère, que les gens appellent en anglais garden et nous en français jardin.
My name is Oji Stephanie Chamaka. I'm one of the project consultants in Apribet Integrated Green Farms.
My name is Engineer George Aniboro. I'm the consultant to Apribet Integrated Farm, engineering consultant. Basically water. As you all know, water is very important in any farm. So we are in charge of design, provision of water.
My name is Engineer Kanolu Sereme. I am in charge of the civil construction work at Apribet Integrated Green Farms.
Hello, my name is Vanessa Mojisola Lunge, the consulting outfit for Apribet Integrated Green Farms.
Okay, my name is Adano Jean-Louis Serge. I'm the farm manager here. I'm from Benin.
My name is Yunus Sabala. I am called Papa in the farm. I am a CSO.
My name is Tunde Oga. I am personal assistant to the chairman, Apribet Integrated Green Farms Limited.
In the course of my work as a federal representative, we realized that there's serious food insecurity in this country as a result of very low level of agricultural activity, in most cases, very peasantry. We discovered that this is not capable of solving the problem of food insufficiency in the country. And as a result, some of us felt that we have to be directly involved. Besides encouraging our local farmers, empowering them to go into farming, we thought it was also important that we get directly involved to set the pace for others to emulate with time. And in this case, we decided that it has to be integrated farming, one that combines both birds, animals, fish, crops, and so on and so forth. And in doing so, based on previous experience with some of the agencies of government that help us do our projects, we decided to look at what is happening in Songhai. And so after a trip to Songhai farms in Port Novo, we decided on adopting the Songhai model of integrated farming.
I and my team came together in the planning of both the crop production, the particular species to use, what crop is good for the soil. But before then, we carried out soil testing to know the fertility rate of the soil, to know if the soil is capable to give each crop what they need to grow.
Il y a un travail de fond qui a été fait. On a d'abord analysé le sol pour voir qu'est-ce qu'il faut mettre. Donc c'est à base de ça qu'on s'est dit, après analyse du sol, on s'est dit que ici on va mettre la pisciculture, ici on va mettre le jardin, de l'autre côté il y aura l'escargotière et Derrière là-bas, il y aura les pondeuses. C'est un travail de fond qui a été fait avec notre patron Thierry. On a travaillé ensemble et c'est après ça qu'on a commencé par mettre les choses en place. Et on vient de commencer. D'ici 3 mois, vous serez impressionnés.
Apribet Integrated Green Farms is one of the best projects I've handled so far in my young career. And it's a project that I have a very huge sentimental attachment to because of the kind of the trajectory that the director of the farm has, which is almost at par with my own vision about what the green economy should be.
It has to do with the use of natural materials to enrich the soil and to serve as what the fertilizer does in other places. We use natural materials to do it. It includes the use of whatever is cultivated inside the farm, the use of cow dung, brewery products, and in some cases even restaurant leftovers, as natural materials that we decompose with time and form, natural means of enriching the soil and making the farm produce to come out extraordinarily.
We help you to boost organic sense of farming. How do you go about it? What are the best practices to farm without affecting your soil? We are planting for the future. We are not just involved in agriculture just for our stomach infrastructure, but also to boost our environment.
Our farm is built in such a way that we wouldn't look at wasting any of our material. It's kind of a chain cycle. Whatever waste that comes from the earthen pond will be re-energized back to the crop, the garden section of the farm.
Everything we are doing here, we try so hard to keep it at organic. So we can say we practice 99% organic because no one can be perfect. We leave that 1%. Every attack on insects and pests and what have you is strictly dealt with what you have in this farm.
But I'm a theater artist by profession, and I like aesthetics. Beyond the production of crops, animals and all that, there's also the part of beauty, adding color to it, such that it is a farm as well as a tourist attraction. So the process of breeding animals, crops and all that is also added with the process of breeding trees, beauties and all sorts, moringas, trying to beautify the pond, the snailries and all that. There's so much aesthetic added to the crop and animal production.
As a food production center, we have several units. It's actually an integrated farming center, hence the name. So you have the ponds, you have over 14 concrete ponds, you have the gigantic earthen ponds, you have the hatchery and the post-hatchery. So here we rear both catfish and tilapia, and we have your broodstock. And then we also have the garden and the cash crops, and there is also the feed mill coming up. And the most beautiful one is the snailry method, of which every visitor and every intern that has been here have actually been commending. This is actually a hybrid of different models that we have seen in several beautiful farms. And without trying to sound arrogant, this is one of the best snailry models that I've seen. It simplifies snailry for you who is low on capital and who is actually looking for how to start small.
We have the open range snailry at the moment. We intend to go into the other model, which is the more controlled one. But the open range one is one in which we try to recreate, a rainforest, which is a natural habitat for snails, to thrive.
Donc, de là, on cherche du paillage. Après avoir creusé, on cherche du paillage et on paille. Après avoir paillé, il faut prendre maintenant les escargots et les mettre dedans et repailler. Là, ça veut dire que les escargots ont une bonne humidité. Chez nous ici, comme c'est un système d'intégration, les escargots produisent à tout moment. Raison pour laquelle on a un système du pneu avec du tôle, parce que si les escargots pondent, étant donné qu'on arrose dedans, on arrose, les escargots voient que oui, il y a eu pluie et puis ils peuvent pondre des œufs comme ils veulent. Donc, le lendemain matin, très tôt, on vient maintenant, on ramasse les œufs.
And then we use natural means to also act as protection for the farm to avoid the invasion of ants, snakes, and the rest of them. Unlike what is common around here, we do not use any kind of chemicals to, to scare off or to scare off ants, but rather what we do is we use grasses that, can repel ants to repel them. The same thing happens with the case of snakes. We have a gutter around the entire snarey with water flowing all through, such that it is not easy or possible for ants to cross over to the farm.
Maintenant, dans l'escargotier, ce que les escargots aiment beaucoup, les escargots aiment, disons, les papayers, les melons, et les concombres, les choses fructueuses, taro, moringa, tout. Raison pour laquelle on a implanté les bananes meringues dans notre escargotier, parce que même si on ne trouve pas les choses à leur donner, eux-mêmes, ils sortent à 23h, 1h comme ça, et ils prennent maintenant les choses qui se sont implantées dans l'escargotier et ils mangent à eux.
En pisciculture, il y a 2 élevages qu'on fait. On fait les poissons, les tilapia et les poissons-chats. Ici, actuellement, on a une seule variété de poissons-chats, c'est le clarias, qui est très bien et qui est bien apprécié par les Nigérians ici.
And also we have our hatchery where we hatch our fingerlings and our fries when we don't go outside to actually get all those things. We actually do it here in Apribet Integrated Green Farms.
So in here we have started the growing of our tilapia and most importantly, the catfish farming. And we are at a 30,000 capacity at the moment. We are planning on expanding to between 50,000 to 100,000 in the nearest future. We try to mimic nature, biomimicry. So these fishes that we have here, that we are growing here, we see them in nature. And usually they've been gotten from nature before they started being reared by man. So how were they feeding? How did they survive? These are things that we study, we look into. And so we decided to plant our moringa. This moringa not only serves as food, but also it has antibacterial, antifungal activities. It has the organic compounds that make up this moringa serves to boost the strength, helps to reduce stress in our fish, especially considering the weather that we have here. The increase in sunlight would cause a high increase in stress level. So sometimes we grind this stuff, we grind our moringa, we dry them, grind them, and incorporate it in our feed. So that when we feed them to our fish, we help to boost flesh production too, boost their immune system. And the net that we have over here is to prevent birds, because usually we have bird attack. So in order to preserve and prevent this loss as a result of bird attack, we use our net to shade all over our pond. We are growing, we are learning their environmental factors and how very much they can adapt to the climatical condition here in Gwagwalada, because it's been seen that the condition in Gwagwalada is quite different from every other part in Nigeria. So we are learning and we are observing them, we are seeing their growth rate. It's not easy, but it's something that we can do, it's something that we have to do. And for our catfish, they are growing very well. We've gotten our breeders. So in the nearest future, we should be having breeders that can survive anywhere, even in the desert. You can raise our catfish breeders in the desert when we give you our new stocks and our new hatchlings. So that is the idea, that is where we plan on going, to get fish that are very resistant to harsh conditions, especially with the change in our climatical conditions. We need to start raising our animals to adapt to these climatical conditions. And that is exactly what we are doing here. That is the future of the farm.
There is actually a maggot tray that we are going to set up because we intend to rear maggots and also sell dried maggots to the farmers who rear poultry and fish, because dried maggots are actually very rich in nutrients and highly proteinous. So these are some of the agro industries that may seem weird but innovative, and that is a huge box.
We have sweet corn, we have our green peas, we have the cucumber, we have the golden melon, our golden trophy, the golden fruit. We have our palcane trees growing, we have our citrus fruits, we have the grapes, we have the oranges, we have the avocado pears, and we have the guava.
Just right behind me is a kind of mulching system that we do in the garden. This is simply a technology called 4/1000. 4/1000 is to ensure that at least 4/1000 carbon of the soil does not escape and continues causing the ozone layer depletion. So it's a system that every innovative farmer should be abreast of.
Vous utilisez un sol qui est déjà utilisé ou qui n'est pas déjà utilisé. Ce même sol-là est utilisé peut-être pour les produits chimiques et autres. Et vous voulez maintenant le rendre matière organique, c'est-à-dire 100% bio, comme nous le faisons ici. Nous n'utilisons pas de produits chimiques, que des produits 100% biologiques. Les mêmes sols-là sont utilisés de quelle manière, à quoi? Nous fabriquons du compost. Le compost, c'est le combinage de matière végétale et de matière animale, c'est-à-dire un remuement, un remoulement, un mélange de matières produites par les végétaux, c'est-à-dire ceci est la matière animale, les veaux, les bœufs, les ovins, les porcs et aussi les volailles. Et pour lutter contre maladies, insectes et toutes nématodes qui pourraient nuire à nos cultures, nous n'utilisons pas de produits chimiques. Je vous l'ai dit, nous utilisons du gingembre, du piment, des feuilles de nîmes en combinaison, des fois même de l'urine de bœuf, de mouton et autres.
We have a fish that is almost ready to move to the market. Then we also have a snail that is almost ready to move to the market as well. Then we started harvesting okra, maize, and sweet melon and cucumber.
One of the differences with Apribet Integrated Farm is that it is adopting both the sprinkler irrigation system and the deep irrigation system, so that we can have a 12-month farming program, which is not very common, especially in this part of the country, where you have short seasonal rains. So we are here to make sure that all these designs are done, and every other engineering, civil, in conjunction with the engineering team, so that we have all the basic infrastructure that is necessary to have a very effective integrated farming system, which is the model Apribet is trying to adopt. We designed it for dual purpose, both solar power and motorized, which is either generator or the conventional NEPA powered borehole. And we designed it, the irrigation, segment by segment, in such a way that we intend to have the whole agrarian sector of the farm covered by irrigation system and drip irrigation system for the vegetables. And then we have enough water storage capacity. We have a 10,000 gallon overhead tank, and then we have another 10,000 gallon ground tank, combining 20,000 gallon, which is almost 80,000 liters. And with the boreholes we have connected to the tank, we can be able to have 80,000 liters in about 6 to 7 hours of direct sunshine. And then we have the motorized to support during cloudy weathers and rainy season. So we have adequate water supply in the farm.
The truth is, when I first came in, knowing this location, by the way, we are in Gwagwalada, FCT, Nigeria. With the sun that is accustomed to this area, I was like, no, free-range snail farming is not obtainable here. But so far, with the help of the hydro engineer, we've been able to set up and mimic the rainforest as it will be in the natural habitat for the snails. And that's what we have here right now. And I can tell that the snails are doing well. They are doing well. In less than 2 months, the result we've achieved is mind-blowing.
Well, initially, when we look at the topography of the area, Gwagwalada, we are skeptical of having adequate water for the farm because this is primarily a basement, and hydrogeologically basements are known to have low yield wells. But we are very, very surprised, and to the glory of God, that when we ran the survey and drilled the borehole, we had very fantastic yields beyond our imagination. And that has been a very, very good stand. So with the yield we have, we are able to have more than enough water facility for the fish pond, the earth pond, the irrigation system, the snarery, the cash crop, and the vegetables. So I'm very happy that we were able to solve the issue of enough water in this farm.
This whole idea is not all about producing for the market alone, but it also serves as a tourist facility for would-be farmers. We've had a set of interns, I think about 12 of them or thereabout. That was the first set, and we're hoping that by the time we develop a relationship with more organizations, we'll be having more of that. This farm is going to serve as a training ground for potential farmers to come here and have on-the-spot, hands-on experience, of how our AIGF green farm operates.
As a learning center, as an incubation space, Apribet is more than 11 hectares, and it has several value chains that can accommodate a lot of trainees or interns from different parts of Africa, not just limited to Nigeria, because we have the Anglophone and Francophone technicians with us, and even the technicians that are versed in local languages in Nigeria, and our own Pidgin English.
Donc, comme je vous le disais, ici il y a les anglophones, ici il y a les francophones. Donc, vous pouvez venir, vous faire inscrire. C'est aussi un centre de formation. Je ne suis pas nigérien, je suis béninois, mais pourtant je suis ici. Et puis, je m'entends très bien même avec les anglophones. Ce qui fait que vous soyez francophone ou anglophone, nous avons des traducteurs, 2 à 3. Nous avons des personnes qui parlent 100% français, des personnes qui parlent 100% anglais, qui sont ici pour vous donner le meilleur de vous.
In the past, I wasn't alive to the opportunities that are vast in agriculture. And I used to also have that stereotype about agriculture being mainly subsistence, the old man and woman in the village with hoes and cutlasses. But given my training at Songhai Center, one of the best institutions in agriculture as far as West Africa is concerned, I became alive to those kind of opportunities in the green economy. And that is exactly what we are replicating in this farm and more. So the model here is actually a paradigm shift from the usual subsistence farming. So when youth come in here, when students in the universities, in agricultural-driven courses, when they come in here, self-sponsored or perhaps sponsored by international donors, they are going to acquire and imbibe themselves with new technologies and capacities.
We are using this opportunity to call on government, corporate entities to take advantage of what we have to offer here regarding the training of personnel would-be farmers in the area of organic farming.
And in generality, it will help the government, the country in trying to improve on its agricultural program, because these days everybody wants to do organic because of the fallouts of chemicals in farming and agricultural activity, cancerous chemicals and stuff like that. But when you adopt a full organic farming method, I think it's something that I want to encourage the government, the private sector to come to Apribet and learn and adopt.
With the training and incubation program going on in Apribet Integrated Green Farms, we see our model going beyond Gwagwalada and Abuja, where we get other farmers and individuals go through our training program, go through the process of learning, and actually take our model and replicate it.
If you can see all around me, as of January, the whole of this place was bare. So if we can do what we did in these few months, we actually started full activity in March. In 3 months, we've had corn, we had okra, we have cucumber. Then the future is unimaginable for Apribet.
The project is still not done. We're still working on other units like the poultry, where we have the maggot tree, where we have our livestock, both the goats and the cow, and a feed mill.
Wow, in the next 1 or 2 years, Apribet Farm will be one of the farms that will be recognized, not just in Abuja, in the nation as a whole.
Apribet Integrated Green Farms is basically about life, preserving life, protecting life. So when you hear the mantra of organic food is not just a slogan. It is about farming right and then eating right. Exactly. So if you're a lover of life, if you're a lover of the environment, it's not just farming to nourish your system. You have to also nourish the soil, which gives you what you eat. So most of the subsistence farmers battle environmental degradation after their farming cycle. These are the things we also try to avoid here. So we are feeding both human beings, we are feeding plants, and we are feeding the environment as well. So, and this is in line with the UN Sustainable Goals of Development for Agriculture. That is what we do here: gender equality, zero poverty, zero waste. Like you've heard from the other interviews, every waste here is recycled, and then so on and so forth. So these are the principles that guide our philosophy here, and that is why we are encouraging a lot of people. We are not class conscious. Wherever you are, be you a private sector person, be you an individual, be you sponsored by international bodies, you can come here, and I'm certain you will grasp 1 or 2 technologies that you might not have known before, or that you know and you've forgotten, and then that will help you in also preserving and protecting life. That is what Apribet Integrated Green Farms is all about. So come take a tour here in Apribet Integrated Green Farms, located in Gwagwalada, Abuja, the green home of organic food and agro-sciences. It's both a training center and a food production center.
C'est la géniale et Apribet est magnifique. Merci beaucoup.